Hello there. Good morning. Happy Monday. This is Coach Rice coming on today with you. I have a special guest today. I think I got a good treat for you guys, so be on the lookout. You are on right now on Monday morning with Coach Rice. This is your professional certified life and mental health coach, trained mental health counselor on today with you. I have a special guest with me, Crystal Holmes of Bio 2 Studios. Welcome, Crystal. How you doing today?
Thank you so much for having me on here. I am doing excellent. I'm happy to be here. And you and I talk all the time, and we just have never had anyone listen to us.
Right.
So I'm excited
we have
today
great
to kind of
conversation.
share. We do.
Great conversation. So I just want to tell us a little bit about what you do.
So I am, for the past 10 years, I've been an independent business owner. I have a laser studio at the Shops at La Cantera in San Antonio, and I also have a couple years ago branched out to do kind of real estate. I was working with a mentor who has strip malls across the city, and so we lease out rooms for small businesses, people who don't need a lot of space, but they do need workspace. You can use it for any sort of creative studio, and I love it because post-COVID, people weren't wanting the huge brick and mortar. They wanted smaller spaces, and so it's a stepping stone, as you know, to bigger and better.
Yeah, so I'm happy to have her on, and today we're going to talk about, I'm doing a relationship series, and so I wanted her to come on today because I met her about 5 years ago, but the interesting thing about it is that through our business relationship, I want to give people some tools, and I think we could do a really good conversation about it because we walked in it.
Absolutely.
Tools on how to build healthy business relationships. So that's pretty much my topic, is understanding business relationships and how to create them in a healthy way, because it's not an easy thing to do.
No, business relationships are standalone. They're so different from your typical personal relationship, your family, your average friend relationship. Business relationships, there are certain lines that you can cross, not cross, depending on, the format of the relationship. But they can be super easy and they can be super complex. And so understanding how to navigate them is really important.
Oh, absolutely. And I think one of the greatest things about having a healthy business relationship is, first, you really have to have clear communication. You have to be clear. I remember when I didn't want, and authentic. I remember when you said, I have a space just perfect for you. And you being in business for so long, you made it through COVID. So I was like, okay, I'm listening. But I'm listening, but I'm scared. And so you were like, I have a spot, and you will be perfect in that spot. Mm-hmm. And I would love for you to have it. And I was like, I don't know. Because at the time I was like, I don't know if I want to really pay overhead.
Right. And if we fast forward really quickly, the story goes that you outgrew us so fast because it was a great stepping stone for you to expand and realize the potential and realize the demand. And then all of a sudden it was like, hey, Crystal, I'm sorry, but I need bigger space, and I want to do group sessions.
Right.
And it was awesome, though, because the objective worked. You were there, but I saw you there because you had helped me. The way that we met was because of life coaching.
Right.
And it was, I had a partner who reached out to you for life coaching, and you transformed everything. So how many people have I referred to you?
Right. And that's what the interesting part was when we sat down to talk about it. You were giving me a really good picture that I can actually relate to when you said, hey, think 10 clients pays your rent, pays the lease.
Because you have to break it down
Right.
like that. I had to get you to understand that the big animal that it looks like isn't so big when you break it down to what you do. It's how many people. It's kind of like at McDonald's, you know, how many burgers do you have to sell to pay this?
Right.
And when you break it down like that, we always say in business too, I used to sell insurance for 16 years. I was working at USAA, and we would say, you know, how many Starbucks do you have to not, you know, order in order to pay for something responsible? So it's like you just have to kind of change your mindset on that. But
And it did. It gave me a different perspective. You gave me the reality, and you normalized how I was feeling when I was I was scared. I was
you're
like,
supposed to be scared.
And you said that. You was like, you're supposed to be scared, of course.
You're
And you
supposed
gave me the analogy of it's like jumping out of a airplane without a parachute.
Yes, I heard that once, and it's like being an entrepreneur, you're jumping out and you're building a plane on the way down.
Right.
Because you have no idea how you're going to do it, and it always looks different than you think it's going to look. So setting that expectation that the answers aren't going to be there on day one.
Right.
You're going to figure it out as you go. But
you did an excellent job in that area, and I thought, and the interesting part about taking that step, it wasn't about it was more to it than I thought it was. It was more to business. I was stepping into a transition of a mindset. And so while I was there at the studios, it was interesting because the studios wasn't just a space to get, you know, it was really a stepping stone. And let's help you step out on faith, and let's help you, because you have a marketing aspect to, if someone come in and they get a spot at the studios, you are there to walk, not just to give them a space, but also help them market what they're doing. You're very good at that.
it's my favorite part, honestly, because we don't have anyone come in that we don't believe in. And we've turned people away because we didn't really we didn't align, I guess I should say, with what they were doing, or didn't believe in their service or whatever. So everyone who comes in, we have full faith that they're going to be wildly successful. And when you do, it's so easy to market. You believe in it and you share it. And I knew that was something we would be able to offer, convincing you that
Right.
it's not just your audience, it's our audience. And, you know, we'll expand to different people. Yeah, I'm really thankful that you trusted me on that, because I knew you would.
And
I knew you'd do well.
And I'm so glad I took that leap of faith, because it changed my whole life. It changed the trajectory of my business. It gave me a chance to see what's possible, and hopefully it can transform into my children to see anything is possible if you just have that support and someone to walk you through that's already in business. You went through COVID with your business and still was standing after it was over, and still standing to this day.
Yes. I mean, I credit God, because my business has gone through getting out of a franchise, and I mean, there have been so many just huge hurdles that I can't believe we're still standing, but learning so much in the process. It's the best business school there is. But I will tell you that out of our relationship, the cool thing is that one of our most recent conversations, I'm taking so many notes. You've learned so much about AI and
Right.
and all these new developments in business. So it's kind of like the what is it? The student
This
is the teacher.
The teacher is teaching the student,
Exactly.
and the student is teaching the teacher.
And it's cool, because now we have a different kind of relationship,
Right.
where we're both in it, and so we can banter differently.
But what was really good about the relationship, because I was with you a year, actually, a whole year.
Yeah.
But it was funny when it was time, when I felt this nudge, I was like, oh God, I really don't want to talk to her about this, but I have to, but I don't know if this is what I want to do. I was literally like, I couldn't see myself out of there. I couldn't see myself in a bigger I was terrified. And I was like, let me talk to her. Let me sit down and talk to her. But what made the difference, because a lot of times when people are in business, it's so personal that when it's time to leave, there's turbulence.
I understand that. And we had built such a mutual, respectful working relationship and a friendship. And so it was kind of, I can understand you being hesitant to tell me I'm breaking up with you.
Right. It is sort of like I'm leaving you, but
yeah.
and it's not personal, it's business.
Yes.
You know, and I didn't know how to I was like, oh my God, I gotta talk to her. I don't know how I'm gonna do this, but because sometimes that don't come out too good. It's like, oh, some people take it as all after all what I did for you, you're gonna leave. You know. And how did you like deal with that?
Well,
because you were so great at it, but I want to know what was going on.
What you didn't see.
Right, what I didn't see. I want to know what I didn't see.
What you didn't see was the initial sting of like, oh, she's leaving. You know, I don't want you to leave. But it's the same thing with, let's say, our kids. The whole entire point of raising them is for them to be great independent humans. And when I went into this relationship with you with the studios, we talked about your success. So when you're coming to me saying, I'm having success, who am I? Honestly, if I care about you as a person first, and then, you know, business will continue to run. But if I care about you as a person first and the success of business, which is what I told you, then how can you not be excited that you have reached that level and that you want more? So it was a win, and I considered it like a huge win for us too, that see, we did what we said we were going to do. We created a space for you to be successful and to launch, you know, a new chapter. So
yeah, I was really, it was what you said that really got me, was I never saw a ceiling over you.
It's true.
And I just hope that you will continue to keep in touch. And I was like, of course you.
I was worried. I was like, but you're such a part of my life now. But
so we have really, and that's the thing about being in a healthy relationship with business, is that you respect the other person's growth.
Yes.
That's a huge thing, because they're a part of your journey, but they're not your journey.
Right. And if I put all my eggs in one basket saying, well, Martha's going to come and do this at the studios and never ever leave, I just put a ceiling on you.
Right.
I said, you can only grow to the point that I'm comfortable. And that's
it's not helping.
And it's not helping your growth truly. It's for self-serving reasons.
That's true.
But it's still hard.
It's still hard, right?
Why are you leaving me?
It is hard, because it's like, oh my God, I got to find a new tenant. Oh my God, this is really tough. You know, it's a lot to it, but at the same time, I liked the fact that you were happy for me, and you were celebrating me, and you were still encouraging me to move forward. That was I'll say that was very important. And you were really thinking about the next person that's going to go in there, how you're going to celebrate them to get them to do the same thing.
You know what was beautiful too is that you left a key with a keychain about success. Well, I don't remember what it said. Do you remember? It was a message of
hope, and not be fearful.
Yes.
Because I was that way when I walked in. And I was like, let me get this to the next person.
And you know, you're just carrying on that legacy. Who come in there
and get that space, because they come in there, they able to experience what you have to offer. Being a small, starting off in a business, it's scary.
Yeah. But
you really made it where it was hopeful, where I saw, oh, I can really do this, and I got support to help me, because you were promoting, you were sending out messages, you always sending me referrals, and still do, and so it's like this relationship, our business relationship, has really grown into a friendship as well. And I know when in your business personally, you have also employees. How do you what advice would you give someone who was taking on employees as a business owner to have a healthy relationship?
So I would say first, hire the right people. I've heard this over and over, and I've hired in different jobs before becoming independent, but the people that you choose, it really matters. It doesn't matter if someone has all the skill that you need if they're not the right ethical fit.
Okay.
If they're not aligned with their value system, if they're not, you just kind of read people. And I feel, honestly, it's hard. I feel like I do have that gift of reading people and their sincerity. And so when you hire the right people, you can train skill. You
That's
can
true.
train anything that you want to, but you can't instill a value system overnight with somebody who is so far, misaligned with you. So hire the right people first. Way back in the day, when I first got out of high school, I worked at a call center for American Airlines. And I got this job, I was super young, and I got this job as an instructor. And I thought, oh my gosh, I'm just a kid, and I'm instructing these adults. And I had this man, he was the head of HR, his name is Brian Rose, and he came to me and he said, listen, you can always ease up if you start a little strict. He said, but you can't gain strength after you come in so easy. He said, so when you have employees, kind of set expectations, hold them accountable a little stronger than you normally want to, and then you can always ease up. And it's really easy to get those reins back in that manner. But if you're just like best friends and hey, everybody do what you want, and then all of a sudden, you're 6 months in, you're like, guys, come on, we gotta it's hard to get control later.
Right.
So that was really good advice. That
is great advice, actually. It's good leadership advice, because you have to have boundaries with your employees or they won't show up.
Right, right.
They're like, oh, she's cool, I could take off.
Exactly, and it's easy to take advantage, even when you're not that kind of person. If no one's paying attention,
right?
It's just easy to.
And you also mentor some of your employees as well.
I do, and it's the same thing where you want to not put a ceiling on your staff, and it's hard too, because you have somebody who's so good at what they do, and you never ever want them to leave. But I do have an example. I have a girl who was the sister-in-law of my receptionist, and that receptionist was phenomenal. So the sister-in-law replaced her when she was working in nursing school, and she was phenomenal. And I'm like, okay, you can never leave now. But she wanted to get her laser license, and I thought, oh, this is great growth. So she goes on to get that and becomes one of my top employees doing laser. I needed a new receptionist, but that's okay because she's still within the company.
Right.
But then she wanted to grow even more and become a nurse, and I thought, that's great.
Wow.
It's so great. She's kind of on her way out, and she was such an instrumental part that I wanted to put that ceiling and go, don't you want to do this forever? But it doesn't make sense, and I didn't even want that for her. And looking now, it's been years, and she's doing so well, and it's like, it's like your babies. You just want to see everybody grow.
And what would you say the heart of being a business owner, the heart of growth in your business, what would you say?
Caring about people and not money. I have so many people that have given me these nuggets throughout my time as an entrepreneur. This one is Glenn Franson, and he runs the Gentleman's Place, I believe it's called. It was also Massage Heights. And I went to school with him, and he said one time when I asked him for advice, he said, the money will come. When you care about a purpose for solving something for a person, when you care about the people, and you focus on that with your staff, you focus on that with your, business projections, then you're going to get more people. And with that comes the revenue. But if you focus just on money, then you miss and lose sight of doing the right thing sometimes, and the relationships, and that's all it's about is relationships. So yeah, focusing on the purpose, and then the money will come.
I heard that out as well with Tony Robbins. You know,
I like him.
keep your focus on serving, and the money will come.
So true.
Because really, seriously, like customer service, people come back. People don't come back when you focused on money, and people can tell.
You can tell. I
Yeah.
can tell.
We can tell.
Yes.
That when people are focus driven on just getting my resources versus
Yes.
me caring about me as a person, and that's what I try to do with my clients. I try to give them the best care that I can give, not because of the money, because I care actually, and I want to give back to them because I see a pain point, and I see a need, and I want to help.
Yeah.
And so that's been it's been great for me to have that as a characteristic as I grow the business. I'm not focusing on where it's going. I'm focusing on let me serve the people.
Well, and especially in your industry,
Yes.
I mean, yes, there's two different kinds of coaches, and you can certainly tell the ones that are focused on
Right.
the money, and the ones that are focused on the people.
Right.
I will say this, at the same time, you have to see your value. So you have to not be afraid to put a price on the value that you offer. Because if you're so driven for people to the point where what did they say, you set yourself on fire just to keep everyone warm, and you're putting yourself last,
Right.
then your business, you can't help more people.
That's true.
So you need to balance that in a certain way.
That's a good idea. What advice would you give for new people who starting out?
Don't be afraid to charge for your services.
Because that's one of the hardest conversations to have is
Yes.
about money. Why is that?
Because we feel like it's just us, I don't know. We put ourselves in this position like what our client, like for example with laser, my clients don't understand that I have expensive rent at the shops at La Cantera.
Right.
So that it's convenient for them to get in and out. They don't understand how expensive the equipment is, and all of these things. I sometimes in the beginning was like, I don't want to charge too much, because I really just want to give service, give everything away. And it's like, wait a second, when you're in business, I'm a certified professional. No one else can do this, without burning you or without whatever. I know what I'm doing.
Right.
And I'm going to give you the best treatment possible. Don't be afraid to know your own value and just price accordingly. I
agree. Because it's funny because you think you're the only one that struggle with that, but you're not, right? And I over deliver.
Right.
Because I do see the value. I give great value. I pray. I have all the tools I need. I pull out the tools in my toolbox and I'm really analyzing and giving great value of service to my clients. Like, they may not see the value if I don't put a price tag on it, but if I have the price tag on it, they'll see the value a little different. But it was a hard conversation at first. Like, it's just me, and then I struggled with, well, this is my calling. Should I be charging for my calling? And then I struggled with that too. But you got to stay in business.
You have to be in a position to help. And you can't be in a position to help, or you can't help more people if you're not
if you can't afford
responsible,
if you can't afford the lease, right?
Exactly.
And so that's the key, is really just taking the time to really figure out what price range what you're gonna charge. And once you get your price, your prices together, then you move forward. And then as inflation goes, you got to go up sometimes.
I mean, you have to, or you'll be left behind.
Yes, and you'll be left behind. And then because you have to evolve.
You do.
In business, you have to evolve.
But you can be fair at the same time.
Exactly.
So it's just finding that in business, that is one of the most difficult things, is finding that balance between I really, really want to be super fair.
Right.
And I also need to keep the lights on. So where is this balance with your value, but you'll find it. Just don't be afraid to ask for your value.
Exactly, because people. I noticed that if you don't put like even like sometimes you get people who really can't quite afford your services.
Mm-hmm.
And so, especially in the mental health field.
Mm-hmm.
And so, what we would do when I used to work in Chicago, I worked in a low income area. So they couldn't afford the services, but they needed the help.
Yeah.
So we would do a sliding scale, because if they put even $5, they'll show up.
Yeah.
That was the value, that was valuable for them to pay $5.
Absolutely.
Because it was like, I'm getting something, and that $5 is a lot of money for them. So we did a sliding scale. But when you're in business, if you don't put some type of value on it,
Mm-hmm.
people won't show up.
That's so interesting that you said, because I agree with that. I heard something that said if you only have 30% to give for that day, and you give somebody 30%, you just gave 100%.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And it's the same with money.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, in regards to somebody paying or they won't show up, we discovered that when we would have events and stuff, everyone's like, yes, I'm coming.
Yeah.
And then no one shows if there's no
If it's
skin in the
free.
game, right? If it's,
No
yes.
skin in the game. That's it. No skin in the game.
That's a little tip we learned as well.
And so I think with business relationships, you know, you've been successful with relationships throughout your business. You met a lot. You meet a lot of people. You have introduced me to a lot of great people. I must say, like, really, you've met a lot of people, and I noticed that. I would say one of the biggest things is the fact that you actively listen to the people you around. You present. That's a good.
Thank you.
That's a good characteristic that I noticed that you have. You're very present.
Thank you for that. You know, my dad was complimented for that skill. He was the best listener, and I remember growing up how it felt when someone's always distracted and, you know, a foot out the door. And then my dad, it felt like you're the only person in the room, and it matters. Listening is the best communication tool.
It is.
And it's the hardest thing to do, because you want to say all these things, you know, but if you're ready to speak, you're not paying attention to receiving what the other person is saying. So
But
thank you for that.
you are
Thank
like that.
you.
You make it seem like you're the only person that's in the room. You're like in a bubble.
Well, you are the only person in this
But in this room right now. But no. But when we used to, you know, at the offices, you know, I would have an issue and I say, "Hey, this is not working," and you will be right. You're right on it. That's another thing, is making sure that you care about the people you lease to.
Truly.
When internet wasn't working, you was on it. You was on top of it. You sent them out. They had to fix. They realized that it was a bad modem, and you came. It was quick. It was like within hours.
It's funny because I didn't realize that was a rare thing. If somebody has a problem, you fix it.
Right.
And I guess I'm just wired that way. My daughter recently she just resigned from her very first job, and she had a pay issue, and she would send this message and send another one and send another one. It took 5 months for someone to pay her from the very beginning, and she's learning. I'm trying to guide her through all this, and she's learning how to stand up for herself. But it was interesting, because I'm like, how in the world does a company see that someone has an issue and not want to just immediately jump all over it? But I can't imagine you being there without internet, and I wouldn't imagine you would be there without toilet paper. Like, whatever issue you have,
you were right there. We fixed it. You fixed it, and that's key. Business relationships grow when people care about one another.
Yeah,
that's the key. It has to be help us one to another, and that's what I felt we were. When I was there, we would help us one to another. If it was something you needed, I would say, you know, I can go get it, and you would say, just make sure you give me the receipt.
But you did. You actually were the informal leader there, because anything that needed to happen, because you were present a lot there, and anything that we needed, you were the go-to person. You also, I mean, I don't know if I should say you paid rent early.
Right.
And I'm like, this is great. What do you need? What do you need?
Right.
You know?
I did. I always make sure I do. Yeah, make sure that, yeah.
And it was such an easy, mutual, respectful relationship that it just, you want to serve each other.
It was. In the way that it was, the way you guys decorated was phenomenal. It was so nice. I walked in and I was like, oh my God, my room is, it was hard for me to transition out of it and say, I wanted to come over here with the same setup. I want the walls to be the same.
I know.
And it wasn't, the transition
Right,
wasn't
you did a
like
good
that.
job.
But all of this came from there. But it was interesting how I wanted it to look exactly the same. It was hard for me to make that change. But overall, our healthy business relationships, you can really truly grow from if you just utilize the characteristics that come with it.
There's enough success to go around.
It is.
You know?
It is.
And I feel like the philosophy now is we rise together, and more people are like feeling less competitive with others, and I think that's good and healthy that message is out there so much, like lift others. And you've lifted me, I've lifted you, and that's the only way it works.
Yeah, and it's really beneficial because I can't serve the world. I don't. I'm just me. It's not enough hours in a day for me to serve the world. So when I meet another life coach, like I did the other day,
yes,
it's nice to see, what are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
How are you? What does that look like for you? Because everybody is different. Like he's more business related, but it's really, let's grow together. Let's refer each other. Let's be responsive to each other. And we always have that. I call you when I always call you. Hey, how you doing? And when I call you, just to chat, and it's always like, oh, guess what?
But we always get something good out of that conversation, even if it's just laughter, right? Right. We get something good.
Always.
But we all have, like you said, I can't serve everybody, but we all have strengths. And we all have things that we need to work on, right?
Yes.
And so I like that if there's something I've forgotten at the studios, you'll pick it up, and vice versa. And it's just, so
now you have, I must say, you really have, I brought you on too, because anytime I want to talk about a relationship, I want to talk about a relationship that's actually in the operation of that. You lead by example. I didn't want to talk about it from a place where it's not happening, because it's kind of hard, right? But I wanted to have that conversation. We even talked about having a podcast.
We still should.
We still should. Yeah. Because we just turned the camera on. Let's just.
Some of our conversations.
Are very good. She pulls out my little life coaching skills, and she gives me a lot of her advice too, because she's very knowledgeable in all kind of areas, which is great. And so I get to learn from her. She get to learn from me, and we have great conversation. But one of the things that I would say that, you being a business owner, I can see why you were so successful. It's because, and people who lease from you love working with you. And I've seen you have different people come and go because of their growth.
Yes.
They realize, oh my God, right.
Yeah.
Because you are, number one, your active listening skills, but you are responsive. When there's a need, you're not ghosting.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised how many people might do that. But you're really concerned about the area. If something is not working right, you on top of it, because you look at it as you want success, which is great. Which is great because you're leading other people, and people watching. They may not say nothing, but they're watching, because I watched.
It's really powerful. Thank you for saying that.
I watched how you marketed the person that rented out the first space. How you really had this big grand opening for them and really just launched their business, helped them launch their business off. I saw that and I was like, wow, that's pretty neat. You know, you don't usually get, okay, here's your lease, do your thing.
Yeah.
But you get that extra component that comes with yours.
We wanted it to be different. We didn't want it to be the average room space
Right.
with a key. You know, we really wanted, and that's why my partner and I even offered the decorating services.
She's
and
amazing.
She's so good.
She's amazing.
And
oh God.
just the marketing is the part that I love, and so I find that super fun. But yeah, we wanted it to be different. It's like you're not alone in business. And that's the scariest thing, is feeling like you're isolated.
Yes.
Like I'm jumping off this cliff, and
With
I have
nobody else to
there's
hold me
no one.
accountable,
'Cause
nobody else
I
to
did
hold me
that.
together.
Yeah, I went into business. It's very lonely when you don't have that partnership, and so wanting everyone to feel safe and that it's okay. You can bounce ideas and you have support. I think that's the key element to getting out there.
Yeah, and I like that, and the fact that you did, like I said, you celebrated, you allowed transparency with the people you interact with. You allow them to be transparent, even though it hurts.
Have to be.
Right? Anytime you allow somebody to be transparent, I kid you not, sometimes it can ache.
Yeah.
Especially in different relationships.
Yes.
But yeah, so I really just thank you for coming on and talk about this, because I think it's helpful for people to see how valuable it is to foster business relationships and make it relational, but not to the point where you lose track of boundaries. Because you really have to be careful. Like, just because I'm your friend don't mean I should be late on the rent.
Right.
You know, that type of thing.
Right.
We don't want that, right? We want, you had a goal. Your goal was to rent the space. I had a goal. I needed the space.
Yes.
But together, we made it work.
Well, and I feel like if you are truly caring about somebody, and I'll say this too, like if your friend has a business, let's say they're starting out a nail salon, or they're starting a consulting business, asking for everything for free is not supporting them. It's
That's
supporting
true.
you. And I think that we are accustomed to, hey, I got a guy and this guy and he'll do it for free, hook you up, but if you really truly are trying to support your friends, show up for them and pay the price. And if it's on sale, pay the sale price, but don't ask for everything to be free, because that is more self-serving than support.
Say that again.
Yes.
No, it is so true. You get that, can I get a hookup? Or no, I really honestly have a lot of people I know in business, and I never ask for a hookup. I'm like, how much is that? I pay the price, because they are in business and they trying to grow. So to ask for a hookup, you're right, it's self-serving. And it's also diminishing my value.
It is.
That's the problem I have. It's diminishing my value. It's doing it. It's really actually subliminally doing it. That's the danger.
It is.
Because I walk away feeling devalued. Because you just asked me to downsize my services.
That's right.
For your need, your personal need, not understanding that I'm in business to be successful.
And you have a lot of friends and family. So if you're giving everything away, I have a lot of friends and family. If I'm giving everything away, then I'm just working for free.
You really just got a side hustle.
You just,
and
exactly.
I don't want to be in business as a side hustle.
Yeah.
I don't want to cross the two. I want to be in business to make revenue.
Yes. So when you provide life coaching to me or my family or the 75 people I've referred to,
right.
It's great to get the full price for that, because
right.
that is what you're worth. So yeah, that's something we can't forget.
And
is
that's
to-
and honestly, you never ask for a hookup.
because I don't want one. I think you're worth the value. I actually think that you undercharge sometimes. We've talked about that.
Right.
But you know, I would never
Yeah.
expect you to have an hour or so of your time
Right.
that you could be doing
Doing
a
something,
million other
things, right?
Exactly.
And that's what I love. So I love the way I went to your studios the other day, and it's so nice. It's still so beautiful.
so
Everything
proud
is
of
so neat and put together, and
Yeah.
and so you got the studios. I haven't been down there in a while. So do you have any spaces left?
We do. We actually have 2 spaces that just became available. Studio rooms, really good sized rooms that you can decorate however you want to. So it's like your own private office, creative studio. We've got some people in there that are leasing, that are amazing people doing great things. So you have, and it's interesting because there's support there too.
Right.
So you get
We
support
did.
from everyone, and it's just a launching pad for success like yours.
Absolutely. So I would say if you just starting out and it's a retail space, but if you're looking for a space where you could just start out, get your foot in the door, meet some great people, because everybody who worked in there sent me business.
Yes.
And I sent them business.
That's how
we
it's
were like,
supposed to
oh,
work.
I got somebody that you can, we really did support each other, and it was like a little community, and it was great because you need that.
You do.
And it feels good when someone refer you. And so that's what we did while we were in there. And so if you are looking to, as a new business person, scared to get out there, I promise you need to call Crystal.
And you have hand holding.
Right.
We love to hold hands and guide you through the first steps.
And give
then
advice, and good advice. Like,
when you want it. We're not in
Yeah.
your business if you don't want us in your business, but if you want it, we're there. And so, yes, it's
yeah, so tell them how to get in touch with you to get that space.
just call me. You can, Crystal Holmes. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, direct message. Call me at 210-396-0400. Text me. Actually, probably text me so I know it's not spam. And then we can chat and see if it's a good fit for you.
Yes, you will love it. I promise you. I definitely love that beginning. That was the greatest beginning. I do not forget it.
It was a really,
it was a
really
great
good
beginning, and it's just when it was time to go, it was time to go. It was scary, but hey, I'm in a larger space that serves me a little different and gives me the space I need to take families and groups and things of that nature. So I'm so grateful to you that you push me off the edge.
And you sure did build
You
that
did
plane.
push me off the edge, and I'm glad you did, and I'm so grateful. I'm always grateful for us to chat,
I know.
and I'm glad you decided to come on my show to talk about the business relationship, because it's very important. Build good relationships, and your business will grow.
Amen.
So,
Amen.
thank you guys for listening to us. We are so grateful to have you on. Thank you so much for just taking out the time of your day to come to sit in my office with me. We usually have these conversations in the car.
That's true.
But the greatest thing is that I'm so glad that you're with me. And so we just signing off, and just want to let you know, don't forget, Mental Health Awareness Month is in May. Don't forget, I have people who are now signing up, which I'm so grateful for, my training that I'm doing on stress, anxiety, worry, and fear. They are related, but they're not the same. So come and get that training. It will help you, not only you, but it would also help your children. So don't forget to come and sign up. Go to my website, go to the flyer and choose Join Now. And when you hit that Join Now button, it will walk you through how to sign up. It's a $50 price, but what you get for it is well worth it. I promise you, you will not regret it. So don't forget, sign up before the space is filled, because I don't have many. So Happy Monday. Enjoy your day and go treat someone with respect and love.